What's going on, guys? This is Jacob here. Hope everyone is doing well. Today I just really... Hold on now. Who put this orb here? What is this orb doing? I need to ponder this for a second. Allow me to ponder the orb. Yeah, I got some cool lighting. I don't really know where to put this yet. I feel like everywhere I put it, it kind of gets distracting. So I'm going to work on that. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about today was a subset of personality traits. Now, you may remember way back when I was doing my little YouTube introduction sort of thing of kind of, what do I want to do on the channel? What do I want to talk about? I want to cover some games. I want to cover some cool unknown media. But I also mentioned personality characteristics, tests, that sort of thing. I've probably been interested in personality stuff for I don't know, the past 6 or 7 years, maybe even longer. I'm trying to remember when I was introduced to it. Probably somewhere around community college. I had a psychology class, and it was just part of one of the assignments. Yeah, okay, everyone's gonna take these tests and see what you get. And I did the Myers-Briggs one. That's kind of what I started out with in BTI, where I got ENFJ. Extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. And, I might go into that maybe in a different kind of video. But today I actually wanted to touch on another personality test that I did take in college a little later, though I wouldn't say it was really related to psychology, though I'm sure it definitely takes some inspiration from some of those popular tests. And it is called the Gallup StrengthsFinder, also known as the StrengthsFinder. It's kind of hard to say. It's got a lot of in there, But yes, the StrengthsFinder, that's kind of what I've known it as. And it was one of those things in university, I guess. So I started at community college and then went to university. So I guess that's how we can kind of divvy it up there when I'm referring to it. But yes, so I took this test when I transferred to the university I ended up graduating from, and everyone in the class also kind of did it. And I'm pretty sure anyone who went to that school also did it. But I find it's kind of an underrated test that I don't really see as many people talking about. But I've been able to find a lot of interesting kind of tidbits. When I took it in college, it was free, but normally it's $20, which honestly is not that bad. You get your top 5. Now to get all 34 or whatever, it's a little more, but I figured, this is a great starting point, and that's also what I took back in college. So I was really curious just if anything had changed. I had my mom and my brother take it. They were interested in it, and I was like, oh yeah, shoot, I forgot about the StrengthsFinder, so let's check it out. So I kind of wanted to do a little compare and contrast, see what's kind of changed in my personality, or maybe what's stayed the same in the 6 years since I last took it. So I'm going to start off with what I got recently, and then we'll kind of go back and see what I originally got. But I'll kind of explain, maybe what each strength is as we kind of go through it. And I figure, let's start with number 5, and we'll work our way up to the number 1 spot. So without further ado, let's get into it. So number 5, we got strategic. And just a quick summary of what it says, kind of strategic theme enables you to sort through the clutter and find the best route. It's not a skill that can be taught. It's a distinct way of thinking, a special perspective on the world at large. This perspective allows you to see patterns where others simply see complexity. So that's already kind of an interesting thing. I don't think this is one I originally had. And just seeing strategic in my, top 5 is rather interesting. I do know, I'm just trying to think of how this is maybe applied, So I want to say, I'm usually pretty good with finding shortcuts, finding efficient ways to do things. And I think that's kind of what strategic sums up in a lot of ways of just, finding the patterns, finding ways that, you can get to something quicker and just kind of tweaking at it. Growing up, I've always enjoyed puzzle games and games that maybe require a lot of patience, that you need to kind of figure things out. Of course, I say this, I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom recently, which requires, a decent amount of strategy. Not to say this strength right here is making me a speed runner at the game. No, I wouldn't say that, but it's very interesting to say. So I'm gonna keep reading a little bit of this. You discard the paths that lead nowhere and the paths that lead into fog or confusion. So I think it's really that efficiency in a lot of ways of just, finding what works and going through that, which, I would say that checks out. So let's move on now to number 4, and that is achiever. All right, so for a lot of you who know me, this may not be a huge surprise. Oh no, what? Jacob likes goals. Jacob likes goal setting and personal projects that he likes to work toward. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Yeah, I know it's a surprise. Okay, but let's see what Gallup has to say about it. Your achiever theme helps explain your drive. Achiever describes a constant need for achievement. You feel as if every day starts at 0. By the end of the day, you must achieve something tangible in order to feel good about yourself. Ooh, yikes. Okay, well that you know, we're starting to dig a little deep here, you know. Dang. And by every day, you mean every single day. Work days, weekends, vacations, no matter how much you feel you deserve a day of rest. Yikes, yeah, so, you know, I would say that generally checks out. It's a day off and I'm like making this video. I don't know, maybe it's just kind of small things, but yeah, like days off and even vacations can be a little tricky for me because I feel like that's kind of my window of opportunity, so to speak. Like, you know, to really work on personal projects, to really hash out, you know, that new song, you know, work on that new album, the short film, whatever it is. A lot of like time off means that's when I will have to work on it. You know, work days are already, you know, busy enough, and coming home sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I just genuinely don't have the energy to do it. But it is interesting. Achiever kind of, you know, says you kind of find a way. I feel like that's kind of the vibe I get from it. I'll read a little more here. Your relentless need for achievement might not be logical. It might not have me focused, but it will always be with you. Boom! I mean, that's kind of inspirational, right? You know, at the end of the day, you're going to get something done. And I find that's very true. Like, a lot of times I'm like, there's no way this is going to happen. But it does. Somehow it always does. Let's keep moving on now. To number 3, we have communication. Oh, you like to explain, to describe, host, to speak in public, and to write. As your communication theme at work, ideas are a dry beginning. Events are static. You feel a need to bring them to life, to energize them, to make them exciting and vivid. Well, interesting. I almost feel like that's kind of what I'm doing right now. You know, just explaining literally the communication strength. We're getting meta. We're getting a little meta here, all right? And I'm not talking about the metaverse, okay? You believe that most people have a very short attention span. They're bombarded by information, but very little of it survives. You want your information, whether an idea or whatever, et cetera, to survive. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think generally speaking, you know, even with these videos, I don't want to go on those like tedious, long-winded explanations on something because, yeah, I realize, you know, I mean, not only, yes, I want to get to the point, I want to just get right into it, but also I know there's other things that also need to be talked about. And even then, I know that I would like a response as well. You know, if I just give people just a huge chunk of information, of kind of just like word salad, or, you know, just a dump of information, like, it's overwhelming. You know, I've been in that spot several times where someone's like explain, and maybe they're really passionate about it, maybe they're just really into it, you know, but like, I'm just like, can we run that back? Like, I wanted to comment on point 1, and there's a lot of points, you know, and hey, I get it, you know, I can probably get the same way, but I do find the string thread that are interesting. Let's see, what else does it say? This is what draws you toward dramatic words and powerful word combinations. This is why people like to listen to you. Well, I thank you, StrengthsFinder. That's very kind. Word combinations, yeah, it's always super fun. Shoot, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like this one's rather self-explanatory. So let's move on to number 2, shall we? And that would be... Drum roll, please. I'm actually just trying to like find where to click it. Futuristic. Ooh, whoa. This is like mystical. This is mystical. Wouldn't it be great if, that's in quotes, you're the kind of person who loves to peer over the horizon. The future fascinates you, as if it were projected on the wall. You see in detail what the future might hold, and the detailed picture keeps pulling you forward into tomorrow. Dang. Well, I do have a song off The Beholder. You know, I feel like I point to my albums in like every video, but you know what? It's relevant because it's me. There's a song called The Future on The Beholder, and it was one of the singles. You know, I feel like, yeah, that's always been a bit of a topic of mine, especially not only doing like YouTube, but doing like any releases, doing just anything I do. I feel like I'm always kind of looking ahead. Okay, you know, where's this gonna go? You know, again, the goal setting, I think it ties in rather well with achiever and even strategic in a lot of ways. You know, you need to be futuristic in a way to make some of that work. So yeah, again, I find that's really interesting, especially where I'm at in life right now. Just thinking career-wise, thinking, you know, where I'm gonna go, thinking, you know, just what's gonna happen and all this, and obviously, you know, can't plan for everything, but it's kind of in my head a lot. You know, I've definitely been told, you know, hey, focus on where you are right now, focus on, you know, what's going on, enjoy the moment, you know, and that's always been a bit of a struggle for me, so I cannot lie on that front. All right, and let's get to number 1. Are you ready for it? I don't think you're ready. Are you? Okay. All right. You say you're ready. You say leave a like if you're if you're ready. individualization. Whoa! Okay, first of all, that's like a big word. Like, what even is that? I do remember I got this the last time I took this, so I do remember kind of what this is, but let me explain a little bit. Your individualization theme leads you to be intrigued by the unique qualities of each person. You're impatient with generalizations or types because you don't want to obscure what is special and distinct about each person. Instead, you focus on differences between individuals. You instinctively observe each person's style, motivation, how everyone thinks, and how everyone kind of builds relationships. Interesting. Okay, so you hear one-of-a-kind stories in each person. I'm going to just keep reading this a little bit. The theme explains why you pick your friends just the right birthday gift, why that one person prefers praise in public and the other does not like it at all, and why you tailor your teaching styles to accommodate to the person and show them and kind of keep up with their pace. So so this is an interesting one. Part of me was a little surprised like I had this like so high, like again, number 1. It's kind of ironic, I guess. Maybe it's just your top strength that is just so natural to you just don't even see it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always kind of liked helping people, and I've found that it's easy for me to kind of like immediately, adjust to someone's like pace, or if they're more of like a more active or fast. Okay, well, I'll keep up with the pace. If they really need some time, then maybe I need to slow down. It's just recognizing things like that. And it's funny because I'm definitely someone who overthinks. Like when I said the birthday gift part, I definitely overthink that, like to an outrageous degree. Because I always say, I'm like, there's no way. Like either one, they already have this gift that I'm about to get them. 2, it's just not like good. But like my mom's always said, you really always do get someone, exactly what they want, or what they need rather. Maybe they don't even know they want it. And I guess, yeah, a lot of times I do try to, when I'm getting somebody something, it's like, could they use this? What do they do? And like, what are their hobbies? What are their passions? What could I get them that will help them build that? So, and I don't know, I feel like it's a very unique trait to have, like, as my number 1. But I will say it definitely helps coming into my creative endeavors with like, collaborations, film making, making a group, basically building kind of a community like that. I think that's like a really, actually maybe underrated strength to have. So those are my top 5. Yeah, individualization, futuristic, communication, achiever, and strategic. And all these kind of fit into their like 4 like categories of StrengthsFinder. I won't really go into all that. I just wanted to explain kind of what mine are. All right, so I went ahead and found my strengths that I got in 2017. I want to go ahead and just kind of speedball some of these here and see what's changed, kind of what hasn't, what I don't know. At number 5, we got responsibility. Oh, great. So I've become less responsible. No, it's honestly, I feel like all these are probably still in my like top 10 maybe. It's just kind of shifted here and there. Number 4, we got competition, which is rather interesting. I feel like that would actually fit kind of well with achiever. It's kind of similar, but I feel like achiever has more of a goal attached to it, where maybe competition is just like, I want to be better. Which, I mean, again, it probably is kind of linked in there. Number 3, we got empathy, which, the only way to prove I'm empathetic is to go around and say I'm an empath, and I have to let everybody know that I am, in fact. Okay, so yeah, that's probably why that one dropped. I haven't been saying that as much. Whoops. Okay, I'm all jokes aside here. Yeah, this probably fits in pretty well with like, my top 1 and maybe, a couple of these other ones. Number 2, we got communication. So I still have this one. I think kind of dropped like a tier, but I think that's always been kind of closely connected to what I do. So, and hey, guess what? Number 1, so this one's interesting. It's the same thing. So I got the same exact number 1 6 years ago and today, individualization, which just kind of blows my mind. Like, I was like, if any of these are going to be the same, I don't know. I feel like it would be like, communication or achiever. I feel like I would have got that. But like, no, individualization, it's my number 1. It still is, even today. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 strengths as of, 2-3 weeks ago. I'm sure if I take this again in the future, it'll probably be a little different. Maybe it won't be as different. I don't really know. But I do find it very interesting. And I can already see a lot of crossover with like MBTI. I'm thinking like ENFJ, right? Like the top function for an ENFJ is extroverted feeling. And again, I could go into this at another point, but that essentially is a function function, right? That's very good at reading the room. It's very good at kind of knowing feelings of other people. And yeah, I mean, I'd say that's kind of sounds like individualization. Dude, I'm like getting some verbal practice in saying that word, individualization. I can say it with like slightly brushed individualization, yeah, in it. Those are my strengths, in it. Sorry, okay, I'm getting carried away. But yeah, like already, you know, just a lot of kind of crossover with some of the MBTI, some of the Enneagram as well. So yeah, I'd love to go into like Enneagram and MBTI maybe in a future video, but if you guys are interested in taking the strengths test, by all means, hit up the link. I threw it in the description there. If you've already taken it, let me know, you know, maybe what are yours, or what do you even think, I guess, of just the personality kind of stuff in general. I honestly find it's rather helpful. A lot of people might label it as, you know, pseudoscience. It doesn't really do anything. It's kind of pointless. It's not backed by facts, whatever. And okay, I mean, you know, look, I'm not holding this as like the truth of like, you know, everything, the be all end all rather, but I do think it's a good kind of pinpoint as to what maybe you're good at, or, you know, just like who you kind of are, and really exploring that to maximize your potential. I don't know, something like that. Look, I'm going into my like TED Talk life coaching bit again. But no, hold on. The orb, look at the orb. Are you pondering it? I've been pondering it. So it's been just like right over here. So there's my communication strength coming out again, you know, just trying to keep the viewer engaged, trying to keep, you know, this video is kind of devolved into jokes. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think. And hey, this has been Jacob. I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace out.